From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reported tonight, Amarachi Ubani.
Good evening and welcome tonight. Department of State Services confirms intention to quiz former Borno State Governor Ali Modu Sheriff over alleged links with Boko Haram terrorists. Military authorities and the Borno State government offer assurances yet again that the armed forces will defeat the insurgency and defend the nation's territorial integrity. Minister of Education announces review of resumption date for schools, asks them to reopen on September the 22nd. And United States Pentagon confirms the killing of Somali terrorist group Al-Shabaab's leader, Abdi Godane.
On business news tonight, more reactions trail Nigeria's ranking in the World Economic Forum's Global Competitiveness Report.
And on sports news tonight, champions Nigeria begin the defense of their Africa Cup of Nations title against Congo amid threats of FIFA's worldwide ban from football.
We begin tonight with a promise by the Department of State Services to question the former Borno State Governor, Ali Modu Sheriff, over allegations of being one of the sponsors of Boko Haram by an Australian hostage negotiator, Stephen Davis. Spokesperson to the service, Marilyn Oga, briefed journalists in Abuja, saying the service had once invited the former governor for questioning over the activities of Boko Haram in the past, but will be invited again. She appealed for caution, as such allegations by Stephen Davis are capable of destroying feelings of patriotism in Nigerians, if not based on facts. She also paraded 6 Boko Haram suspects, including the Yanya bomber. Marilyn Oga equally dismissed insinuations that the former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Azubike Ihejirika, has any links to the sect.
I would want to say here that it's absolutely uncharitable for us as Nigerians to reward somebody who laid down his life in pursuing these same people, for us to accept that he can in any way be associated as sponsoring the same sect. He, together with this service, the military together with this service, succeeded in bringing their activities in Kano, Okene, and other parts of Nigeria to a halt and pushing them to Sambisa Forest. It's the same man we want, because he's no longer in office, to say that he's the one that is sponsor. I think it's being wicked. That shouldn't be the way we should reward people who lay down our lives to provide a secure environment for us. As for the former governor, he's been invited twice by this service, and the service has also invited him again. Recall that one Stephen Davis, doctor, a self-appointed Australian negotiator on Boko Haram, in an interview granted the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, ABC, published in the Cable, an online platform on 27th August 2014, had made certain allegations relating in particular to the service investigation into the Nyanya bomb blast of 14th April 2014. Davis had said the CBN official who handles the funding is an uncle to 3 of those arrested in connection with the Nyanya bombings. The 3 boys lived with him. They were arrested by the SSS after the bombings, but they do not seem to have been interrogated about their uncle in the CBN. Or if they have given up information about their uncle, then the SSS has not moved against him. For the avoidance of doubt, we wish to state that of the 6 suspects in our custody, none is related to another by blood. In other words, none is a cousin or nephew to any other, and only 2 suspects, namely Yao Seidu and Anas Issa, have ever lived together.
DSS spokesperson Marilyn Ogam, while we await the interrogation of the former governor, the present governor Kashim Shettima today said he's confident that Boko Haram would be defeated. In a text broadcast today, he made reference to what he called the massacre of people by Boko Haram and expressed a deep sympathy for the citizens. In his words, "Our heart as government is fully with each and every one of you, and we will do everything humanly possible to support you, reclaim your communities, rebuild them, and give all of you a new lease of life, inshallah." I was speaking about the 19th century, during which Borno Empire had a lot of challenges. The governor expressed great hope that the state will survive. According to him, "We are confident of victory through a reinforcement of our armed forces and the collective will of all of us citizens who are committed to defeating the Boko Haram scourge. Collectively as a people, we have exhibited great determination." End of quote. And while efforts are being made by the armed forces to defeat the insurgents, the governor says, "We strongly appeal to the federal government to redouble its present efforts so that the nation will be a historic witness in the steady containment of the Boko Haram insurgency." He commended the civilian JTF for their efforts, asking them to always have in mind that there is divine reward for such selfless service. According to him, quote, "The people of Borno are very grateful to the JTF for their undying love and sacrifice. As a government which is holding the sacred mandate of the people, we will remain supportive of the civilian JTF as we have been." End of quote. Now the military says it will do everything to defend the nation's territorial sovereignty and integrity. That's assurance coming from the Defense Headquarters today. The Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olukolade, in a 5-paragraph statement, said despite the current challenges in the counter-terrorism efforts in the northeast, the military will do everything to reverse the situation and defeat the rampant jihad terrorists, while welcoming the concern of the international community over what he calls increasing menace and activities of terrorists. Major General Olukolade reassures all Nigerians that the armed forces is more than ever determined and committed to the defense of the nation. According to him, it is not only the pride and reputation of the military that is at stake, but that of the entire nation. We therefore urge our citizens not to lose hope or be disenchanted, but to remain steadfast and supportive of the military. Well, despite concerns raised by the international community on the activities of Boko Haram and the northeast insurgency, the federal government is insisting it is handling the situation effectively. The coordinator of the National Information Center, Michael Mary, told journalists in Abuja today that the government is sustaining its efforts on peace and stability in the country. He also spoke about the abducted Chibok girls and tracking down the alleged sponsors of Boko Haram.
Government is sustaining the effort at ensuring that peace and stability is established in the Northeast, and that the issue of the abducted girls is still on the front burner of the President's major concerns, and is working assiduously to ensure that we put this behind us using and deploying the best methods and approaches as is with this kind of situations where they exist anywhere in the world. I am not clear of the status of Mr. Davis yet, but as a result of those comments, you can see even individuals mentioned are beginning to indicate their willingness to be investigated. So whatever is that must be done rightly will be done to ensure that the truth comes out. But what is at the front burner now is rescuing the girls, and any information, any activity that could lead to that will be appreciated and taken seriously.
In the meantime, the Minister of State for Power, Engineer Umar Mustafa, has raised hopes that electricity would soon be restored in Borno State. This reassurance is coming after an agreement between the Federal Minister of Power and the military on the provision of security for the technical crew that would reconnect the state to the national grid. Borno State has been without electricity following several attacks in the state by Boko Haram insurgents. The Minister of State for Power, Engineer Mustafa, who heads the technical committee set up a month ago by the federal government, says the transmission company of Nigeria has reached the final stage on the reconnection. Insurgents have vandalized the 132 kVA power line from Damboa to Maiduguri, cutting power supply to the state, and efforts to reconnect the line have been hampered by ongoing insurgency and counterinsurgency in the area. In part two after the break, Minister of Health pays a fact-finding visit to Rivers State to assess the Ebola virus disease situation and containment measures. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.